Well, hello and welcome to OverDeVest Nurseries. We're here in the trials area of our nursery. This is where we test out a lot of our newer varieties just to make sure that they work in your garden situations. As you probably know, we grow a very wide range of plants, from the tallest trees down to the tiniest of little perennials. And when it comes to small, easy to grow perennials, these hens and chicks are just magnificent and very easy to grow little perennials. Now, they're fun things to grow, hardy to zone 3, so you don't need to worry about them. They'll grow anywhere here in our region. They require little or no maintenance, and what's neat about them too is that they're fun plants to grow. So if you've got little kids that you'd like to encourage to be in the garden and doing outdoor projects, certainly there's all sorts of things you can do with them. Now, over the years, of course, people have taken these and planted them in things like strawberry pots. They've planted them in old boots and shoes and hanging baskets and all sorts of locations, and there are many different sorts, of course, that come with different colors, including some that change color during the year. So you'll see lots of different types that have been selected over the years. But you know what? I've got an interesting project that I think you'll maybe want to find out about. And what I'm going to do is to show you how you can grow hens and chicks in rocks. Now, the neat thing about this is that what we're really doing is replicating what hens and chicks have in nature, where they grow high up in the mountains in little or no soil, in rock crevices and places where they're able to exist in almost next to nothing. And what I've done here is I've gone out this morning and found some sandstone here on the nursery and brought it in, and we're going to plant some little hens and chicks into the holes that I've created here in these pieces of sandstone. So I'm going to show you how you can do it too. And this is how we make the holes in the rock. I'm using one of these hammer drills with a masonry bit. It's plugged into the electricity, and then it's really just a matter of using the drill to drill the holes. Now, I started out with just a piece of sandstone like this. But with the drill, I created a series of little pockets all over each of these rocks. The holes are about 3 inches wide by about 3 inches deep, just enough to be able to put some compost and the hens and chicks plants, and enough for them to be able to survive in all of these beautiful rocks. Now, the really nice thing about using sandstone is that, first of all, it's a beautifully textured rock. It just feels nice to touch it. Of course, it's a nice warm color too. But also, it's a soft rock, so it's relatively easy to be able to create these crevices and planting holes. And the final thing about it too is that it's a porous rock. That means that the water really won't lay in the bottom of each of these holes that I've made. But if you were using another material or worried about the drainage, it would be important that you drill a hole down through so that it's able to drain out the bottom and you won't have pockets of water laying in there. Now, the first thing to do is to give your plants a good watering. Now, hens and chicks will really exist with very little need for water. But that said, you're taking them and putting them into a new location, so it's very important that you get them nice and moist first, and that will help them make their transition into the new site. Now, when it comes to planting up each of the rocks, it could hardly be easier. Of course, what you need is your little hens and chick plants. Then you'll also need to make yourself a compost. Now, in this case, what I've done here is that I have made up a mixture that's roughly 1/3 of topsoil, 1/3 sand, and about 1/3 of compost. The neat thing about growing hens and chicks is they really don't need a whole lot of nutrient. So by starting out and putting a little bit of compost in the bottoms of each of the holes, that creates a place for you to be able to take and put your plants. And then just tip this up a little bit like that, get it into the bottom of the hole, and then take your hens and chick plant, knock it out of the pot, and that's got a nice root system, a lovely plant there, and then just position it inside the hole, press it home so that it's nice and firm and well seated in there, and then you can add a little bit of the compost just in round the shoulders of the root ball, just making sure that there's no spaces between the sides of the rock and the root ball. So pack it in fairly tightly like so, and then the final thing you need to do, of course, is to water your plants so that they get off to a good start inside each of these little planting holes. Now, as you see, I've gone ahead and planted up all 3 of the rocks here. Put in a nice combination of different sorts of these little hens and chicks. We're using mostly the chick charm varieties here. I really like those. There's lots of different sorts. They're easy to grow, lots of different colors and textures, and of course they change through the seasons as well. And also they're a nice size to be able to put into all of these little holes. Now, for aftercare, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you could probably go through and just dribble a little bit of water around each of these just to get them established until they fill each of these crevices with their roots. Once that happens and once they get established, the remarkable thing about these is that they require hardly any water or maintenance or indeed even nutrient. They're able to survive on next to nothing, really hardy, reliable, and also, of course, the thing with them is they need hardly any maintenance. So if you're somebody that works away from home, you're busy, you haven't got time to fuss with a garden, then these are perfect for that. And also the other thing is you don't even have to have a garden to grow them. Like you see, we've got them set here on these steps, but it might be that you're in the middle of the city or a town and you don't have a garden. It might be that you've got a deck or a patio or a place by the swimming pool. All sorts of places that you can set and grow these rocks out here, and what's more, once they get established, these are really going to last for years. So I hope that you enjoy and also get a chance to try your hand at doing some of this type of project. It's fun, it's really good, and as you see, very colourful and lots of interest that'll take you right through the whole of the year. This is David Wilson. Enjoy your gardening. It's good for us and it's very good for our environment too.